here we go. Cooperate. Hey guys. Okay. We're going to do this a little smoother this time. All right. I have so many garden things to plant. I put this out there for you guys to help me plant my garden on Wednesday, and it's Friday, and I've got all sorts of things that you guys suggested, which is awesome. I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be a great gardening year, and I'm going to have a lot of work, but it's good work. So I'm going to jump into, let's see, I put it out Wednesday here on YouTube for you guys to help me plant my garden and give me all your great ideas. And then I went over and I put stuff on Instagram. I still have my old Chaos and Grace page over on Instagram. And then I started my new Serenity Hill Farmstead one. So I put it on both. So if you guys follow me on both, you saw it a couple times. But I put questions out there. What do you like to plant for herbs and for flowers? And if you are a soap maker, what are your favorite things to grow to use in your soaps? What else did I put? I said favorite things for your earth garden and favorite things for your raised bed. Favorite vegetables, favorite flowers. Did I say flowers? I think so. Yeah, I got a lot of results. So, what we do at home, we have our earth garden, which is about, I'd say that's about 500 square feet or so. So that's all back to Eden. I started doing that a couple years. But we got to change things because this is actually going to be the last year that I'm going to be doing a Back to Eden garden here. It's going to be the last year for the earth garden because, Lord willing, everything is going to be out there full-time. Main garden hopefully will be totally moved by then, but everything is going to be out there for next gardening season. So this is my last earth garden here in our backyard homestead. Hi, welcome. You gave me a lot of results, a lot of input. Thank you so much for your input. So yeah, last year in Back to Eden garden for a little while. It's going to take a little while to get it going out on our land, but I do plan on doing Back to Eden gardening out there too. It works really good for our area. We've got some trees that we need to cut down and we'll mulch them up and put them right onto garden space there. But here, so we've got the earth garden here, and in the past I've done everything. I did watermelon there, which is not a great space for it, and I trellised it, but it still wasn't a great space for it. And I've done green beans, and I've done black beans, and I've done peas, and all your standard stuff. Done lots of different kinds of tomatoes, all the herbs, cucumbers. I've done it. All the stuff there in the earth garden. So, and then I rotate them out. So I do some rotational gardening too. And the raised beds. If you guys haven't seen, I will leave a link for it in the description box. We started as a family. It was a fun project. We ripped out a whole bunch of hostas that we have had against our garage forever and planted hugelkultur beds there. Herbs will be the death of me. I am not that successful with it. You're not alone. It has taken me some years to get the hang of some of them, and then some of them still die. They still do. So it's a work in progress. So yeah, hugelkultur beds. So I still have to dump a bunch of dirt on it. We had winter show up super, super early, and then it disappeared for a long time. So I didn't get the dirt planted or put on top of those hugelkultur beds that we started. So I still need to do that. So we've got 2 of those. And then we have one 8x4 raised bed that we've had for several years. And that is wonderful soil in there. And then I've got another 4x4 raised bed. And then we've got space that goes like against the house. So we've got a lot of space. Last year we planted some cherry trees. So might get some this year. I don't know. I see some conflicting things about that. One of the trees that I got were already fruiting when I got it. So it was a little bit of an older tree. So we'll see what happens with that. And then I've got raspberries and blueberries that they'll pop up and do whatever they're going to do this year. So that's pretty much what we've done so far. So what I'm going to do, let me share the results that I got though. Okay, so for herbs, you guys shared oregano, mint, rosemary, chives, cilantro, basil, all your typical things. Rosemary was another one. What did I say? Rosemary. I said rosemary. Thyme. Thyme was another one that was mentioned too. I've done those. I've done all of those herbs, and I'm gonna do them again. Like I said, not super great at doing the herbs, so we're gonna do them. We're gonna start them again and work on them and try and get something to survive and really explode. I've done herbs every year. Whatever lives does not get huge, so I really want to work on that and get better with that. Here I'm definitely gonna do sunflowers. Somebody had suggested doing sunflowers when I mentioned having fields of sunflowers that I really want to do. So I'm not gonna have fields of them, but I'm gonna have sections of them, and I'm gonna have different kinds of them. Let's see, basil has been successful for me, but that's about it so far. Basil, I don't think you can go wrong with basil. Oregano is amazing. I planted it 1 year. I didn't rip it out. I just cut it back, and it has kind of vined under the wood chips all over the place, and it pops up everywhere in that whole garden space. And I always have crazy amounts of oregano every single year. So I don't have to plant that here. I will be planting it though on our land. In every single herb bed, raised bed that I do, I'm gonna do little probably, I don't know, maybe 2x3 raised beds, just little ones here and there. Love oregano. I love oregano too. Because I saw so many pollinators on that and on our loofah. They were just everywhere. So because of that, I am going to plant that out on our land. So the bees will be very happy out there. Plus everything that grows naturally. And I have to do some more research on herbs though, and flowers, especially edible ones, because I really want to do lots. And I just don't have tons of knowledge there with that. So I'm going to do more research on that. I am open to hearing all of your favorite flowers too that you planted, even if they're not edible, because I really, really want to do lots and lots of flowers that bloom at all different stages of spring and summer and fall. All the flowers. Okay, so there we're going to plant sunflowers. I'm going to do some mammoth sunflowers. I've got some dwarf sunflowers. I've got, I don't remember the name of the variety. I should have grabbed my herbs or my seed box. There was one sunflower that I did not last year, the year before. That gave us some really good seeds. Those are really, really tasty. And I want to put those out there again. They're not as big as the mammoth, but they still got, I want to say a good 6 feet tall. They were pretty big. And they had big heads on them, and we hung them and dried them and harvested them and roasted them, and they were delicious. So I still have some of them. Tangi always recommends nasturtiums for edible flowers. I started those seeds last night. I'm planting mammoth sunflowers this year. Okay, just disappeared. Here we go. Along with marigolds, bachelor buttons, and cosmos. Bachelor buttons, I have some. I never planted them. No, I take that back. I did plant them, and they did not come up. And I was totally operator error. It was all me. Yeah, I do nasturtiums too. I have always direct sowed them, and I'm going to start them this year. You might hear some background noise because the plows are finally running around here, so it's a little noisy out there. Yeah, nasturtiums are definitely on my list. I've got a couple packs of them. I'm going to get a few more. I feel bachelor buttons take forever to grow. Okay, maybe I just planted them too late, which is a strong possibility. But I'll definitely give them another try because I think they're really, really pretty. And nasturtiums I'll have everywhere. I did it in a couple spots last year, and I want to do all over the place. I love nasturtiums. They're great. Anytime you can walk outside and pick a flower and eat it, I'm all for those. Strawberries. Okay, so I had one of our raised beds was designated to be a strawberry bed, and it was for several years, but then we had some weird fungus take over, and I ended up pulling them all out, and I never restarted it because I wanted to plant different things there, but I miss having strawberries. But because they're perennial, I'm just gonna make a spot and plant them out there, and we'll have to do something creative with fencing because the deer, among other things, will eat them. Same thing with blackberries. I have a friend here that here not far from us that has crazy amounts of blackberries. They're a different kind. And then I've got a friend that from Instagram. Oh, she started a YouTube channel too. What? Okay, forgive me if I butcher the name of your channel. Organic Raw Roots Farm, I believe, is the name of it. And she's gonna send me some blackberry roots also. So I'm super excited about those, and I'm gonna get those planted too. And then raspberries. The ones I have here that I'm planning on taking out to our land are thornless. And I think I need the thorns. I got 4 Temptation strawberries plants started. They're doing well so far. Slow to grow, but growing nonetheless, hoping to have all 4 succeed. What zone are you guys in again? I know you guys are south, but I can't remember where exactly you are. I need to do strawberries. Temptation strawberries is something I wanted to do too. We had, what were those? Everbearing. They were everbearing. So we got to graze on them. Didn't get huge amounts of them except 1 year. I think that was it the 3rd year? I think it was the 3rd year we had those strawberries. Crazy amounts. And then after that, it was just kind of enough for fresh eating here and there, just kind of grazing throughout the season. Okay, so yeah, I have to find a way to protect those berries. The blackberries, I think they'll be okay, but I still want to have some fencing. Watermelon, cantaloupe, more stuff you guys recommended. I've done the watermelon, but it just didn't. I don't think our growing season is long enough up here. Again, we're in 5A, but I'm gonna start it. I've always just direct sowed watermelon, but I'm gonna start it this year, and then I'm gonna take it out there and transplant it out there. Anything that vines crazy, like pumpkins, I'm gonna do pumpkins too. Pumpkins, cantaloupe, watermelon. And I put out a poll here in our community tab if you guys would choose Jerusalem artichokes, ground cherries, or cucamelons. And it was just a hair that ground cherries won. I'm gonna do ground cherries here in our backyard homestead, but I still want to do the cucamelons. I'm not gonna do Jerusalem artichokes this year because again, gotta draw the line somewhere. But I'm gonna do the cucamelons out there, ground cherries here. Those are 2 that I've been wanting to do for a long time, so I'm just gonna do both. I don't have tons of seeds that I need to buy, so I can buy them both and try both of them. I'm really excited about those. I'm excited to see what my kids, especially my kiddo with sensory issues, what he thinks of cucamelons because he loves cucumbers, and I'm interested to see what he thinks about that one. Cucumbers I will do here too, though. Even though they vine, I'll do them here. I've got that little 4x4 space, and then I did an old, my firstborn child's changing table. Don't ask me why. We still have it. Over the years, it's been so many things. It's been when we had our quail, it was like our little quail hospital. When we needed to quarantine them for one reason or another. That was our quail hospital. And then we had it, I don't remember, we did something with storing something in it. And then I took a side off, took the shelves out, and now it is a trellis. So now it is serving as our trellis in our little 4x4 raised bed. So a changing table. Use what you got. Green beans I will do. Now, I've done pole beans. I've done bush beans. I like pole beans better than bush beans just because I don't have the space for bush beans. But I'm not really sure what kind of pole bean I want to do this year. I did the Oriental yard longs. I have a couple of those seeds left. Those just went on forever. They were good, but they weren't the best. They were not my favorite flavor. Maybe I let them sit a little long. I think that's what it kind of tastes like. But maybe they sat a little bit long before I harvested them, but they weren't bad. They just weren't my favorite. Ooh, okay. Tomato varieties. Okay. I have to be honest, I was expecting more varieties of tomatoes come out from you guys. My favorite new one that I have never tried that sounds really good is pineapple tomato. So I forgot who mentioned that one. That was on Instagram. I forgot who it was. But I'm going to try that one. I'm going to try pineapple tomato just for the sake of variety, and I've never tried it. So we'll do pineapple tomato. I'm going to order that one. Root crops. Okay. We have a bit of a gopher problem here. It's not bad in town. Not where we are, anyway. But it is bad out on our land. So root crops, I would love to do some root crops. Of course, I will do carrots. Carrots will probably go in that bigger raised bed or maybe in our hugelkultur bed. I'll definitely do carrots. We do carrots every year. We eat them up. Love to ferment them. Love to eat them fresh. We love carrots. I really want to do beets. I am really the only person in the family that loves beets. I love some beets. But I don't have tons of space for it here. But I use it in my soap also, so I have to figure out a way to get that in because I really want to do that. I really want to do like a good chunk, not tons, but a good chunk of them. Potatoes, that I have 100% failed at. I have never been able to grow some potatoes. I've tried it different ways. I've tried it in the ground. I've tried it in like those, those grow some potato bags. We tried to make our own towers. I've done all sorts of different ways to grow potatoes. Never worked. The biggest potato I think I've gotten is about maybe an inch. That's it. I have failed miserably at growing potatoes. I would like to try again. I just need to do some research on that. We've got a good soil around in this area, but out on that land, it's just so depleted. It's not good. So it just needs some amending before that. So I don't think I'll get to potatoes this year. I know that was mentioned. You guys are supposed to be doing this for me. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that successfully. Maybe a little experimental part. Just for practice sake. But that will be probably, if I have to narrow something out, if I have to knock something out, that'll probably be what goes. I would love to be able to grow sweet potatoes. I know that is a more southern zone thing, but I would love, maybe when we have a high tunnel, because one day that is on the list to have a bigger, not huge, but a bigger high tunnel. I want to grow sweet potatoes, and I love, love, love sweet potatoes. We use them for so many different things. I really want some sweet potatoes. So that is on the list to do. What else is on the list? Apples. We have a couple apple trees. I planted at my parents' house. They have a house a few blocks from us, and I planted some apple trees there a couple years ago. Still, it's going to take probably a couple more years to get anything on those. But they're there, and once those start producing, we'll use those. But we are going to start an orchard this year on our land because those take a while to get going. So we'll start those. We think we know the area that we are going to be planting them in. We want to make sure that we're not going to run into, we've put our orchard in, but that direction is the best place for our drain field, for our septic. So that's what we're a little concerned about right now. So we're probably going to get somebody out there just to give their input and, suggestions on where the best place for all of that setup would be. And where the best place, we'll decide where our orchard's going to be. We also have somebody coming out. My husband's talked to a couple people about where to put our well. If you're going to have a well put in, you can look at a topographical map for your area and see roughly where other people have done it and the depth, and figure out where the aquifers are and get an idea of where your well is going to be. But they never really know until they start digging, until they start drilling where it's going to go. And we have gotten estimates anywhere from $4,000 to $20,000. So we're going to have somebody come out, and they've got, I guess, some technology to be able to give us a better idea of where to put it. And we'll go from there. Everything is kind of be a guess at this point. We want to get some stuff started. I really don't want to plant trees and then have to rip them up. That would stink. But I guess if we just put it, so long as it's far enough away from our septic, we can figure everything else out. So that's that. Corn was another thing suggested. So my in-laws have always kind of done this big corn plot for the whole family, and we go out there one day, everybody harvests it, the guys cut it down, you know, the women shuck everything and cook it and cut it and bag it and all of that. And that's always what we've done since we've been doing it. I want to do some different varieties this year. I want to do popcorn. We eat a ton of popcorn. I would love to grow some popcorn. The glass corn, I want to do that too, just because it's really pretty. I really want to do it. And then I said my loofah is going to go out there, so we'll do that. And then I think that's it for the land. For the land, it's going to be orchard, different kinds of sunflower, loofah, pumpkins. What else did I say? Melons, watermelon, cantaloupe, and I think that's it out there. That's a lot, especially since we don't live there full time. It will be camping, like boondocking out there. We don't have electricity out there, which hopefully we'll get this year, but if we don't, we don't. But we'll have solar attached to that camper, so we'll be able to have some electricity, enough electricity. At the house, so here we will have, and then, that's right, out on the land, berry patches. Figure out what we're going to do about some berry patches too. And then herbs for the raised beds and flowers for our bees. At the house, let's see, the cherry trees, raspberries, blueberries. Oh, I also have fig trees. I got some fig trees that were like this big from Baker's Creek last year. They're doing great. Now they're dormant now, but they're doing great. I brought them inside the house. They're in front of a cold window, so they stay dormant. We have a 125-year-old farmhouse. Every window is cold. So stick them in front of there. They're cold enough to stay dormant. Keeping an eye on the soil. They're still getting good light. They're not getting frigid wind, attacking them. And then they're the Chicago Hardy. Was it Baker Creek? Yeah. Chicago Hardy fig trees that I got from Baker's Creek. I got 2 of those, and they're both doing wonderful. So at some point in time, when they're big enough and strong enough, I will transplant them out there on our land, but I want to wait until we are there to do that. Here, we'll also do pole beans. We'll do the black beans. Garlic and onions were mentioned. I always do onions. I love red onions. Those are my favorite. I have seeds for yellow onions, so I might do that. But I really want to get some red onions to do too, because those are my favorites. Black beans, we use the heck out of, so I will do black beans again. And then the cucumbers, cucamelons out there, ground cherries here. Sounds good. Oh, and tomatoes. Pineapple tomatoes. There's a couple other varieties I want to look up. And I'll probably do San Marzanos again because we really, really liked those. Those are really, really good. If you are familiar with the Chicagoland area, there is a phenomenal pizza place called, oh my goodness, I'm a bad Illinoisan, Chicagoan. I don't live in Chicago. Lou Malnati's. Wow. Lou Malnati's. So if you've been to Chicago, live in this area, you know what Lou Malnati's is. They're phenomenal. And I've been told that the San Marzano tomato is the only tomato they use in their sauce. And it's so good. And we loved those tomatoes when we had them last year. I did not start them. I got them from a friend that has a greenhouse that she sells starts out of. And she had them. I had never heard of them before. And she sold me some. She does organic non-GMO. And they were great. They were fantastic. And I definitely want to do them again. So I'm going to start them this year. And then for peppers, we're just going to do our normal jalapeno peppers and bell peppers. And that's pretty much it. And herbs everywhere, because if I plant tons of them, chances are something's going to succeed, right? So that's what we're going to go with. Just plant all of the herbs all over the place, and we'll see what survives. So that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, and the carrots. Yeah, that's about it. So I really appreciate everybody's input that gave me suggestions and gave me your things that, have always worked good for you. Even things that have not worked well for you. I really appreciate everybody's input. This was a huge help helping me narrow some things down, even if it was just kind of walking through the process with you guys. It was fun. So I really appreciate everybody that came and gave me your input in the poll, in the comments, and over on Instagram. So I will keep you guys posted on how this gardening season goes. I don't start these seeds until, I always start the end of February, and then things get a little too big, and then I plant a little too early. I mean, it works, but some things just die off. So I'm going to wait and exercise some restraint, and I will not plant until early March. So once I get that going, then I'll update you guys on how everything is looking and what is actually going to get planted. Because though this is the plan, we'll see what actually survives. So thanks, guys, for joining me today, even though these a last minute live show here. And I really appreciate it. We'll have another video up for you guys on Wednesday with some new stuff that I tried something new. I'll tell you. I took all of the old beeswax, the frames that I will not be reusing, and tried making beeswax. It was an interesting experience. And it was definitely an educational experience. So I'm going to share that video with you guys next week. So I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.